Hey, you're watching Vinyl for Miles, your best resource for music and vinyl reviews. Today, we're going to be looking at the 2019 Sonos Amp. We're going to take a look at how to set this up with your turntable. I'm going to give my feedback and review on this awesome piece of audio gear. Stick around. New for 2019 is the Sonos Amp. This is the upgraded version of the Connect amp that came out a few years ago. This boasts 250 watts of power. It's 125 per side. It is a 2.1 system. You can use a third-party sub of your choice. So why don't we go ahead and unbox this amp and take a look. Now that we saw what comes in the box, why don't we go ahead and set it up. I'm going to show you how to input your turntable. Now keep in mind, this does not have a phono input, so you're going to need either an external phono stage or a built-in one in your turntable. You have to have line level output. Let's set it up. Alright, so we're going to set this up. First thing we're going to do is put the amp on the surface next to the turntable. Now, the amp comes with a power cable, which you will plug directly in. It also comes with these custom banana plugs that put the speaker cables directly down out of the way and hidden from sight. Very clean. So once your left and right inputs are set up, we're now going to move on to plug in the line level input. For me, I'm going direct out of my turntable, which has a built-in phono preamp, directly into the line in. And the last thing to do is to connect your subwoofer. Okay, so go ahead and open up the Sonos app, click Create Account. Go ahead and input your email address and your password. I'm going to go ahead and block this out for privacy. Once that's set up, it's going to generate an email. You'll have to click the confirmation email to set up your account. Once you do, you will get the account is set up notification. And let's go ahead and set up our Sonos speakers. We are setting up speakers, click Set up speakers, and your amp will show up. Click set up this speaker. Even though this is an amp, it shows up as a speaker. Now I'm not going to show you how I connected to Wi-Fi for privacy, but once you do, you will get this confirmation. Once you're set up through Wi-Fi, click the button on the Sonos amp. It will notify you once it's set up. It could take a few minutes. Alright, so now we're going to set up the room. So what are we going to name the room? I'm calling mine Music Room. Now the Sonos amp is added and it's labeled as Music Room, and most likely you'll have an update. Go ahead and click Update. While the update's running, the little light on the front will flash green. Once it turns to white, you are done. Your Sonos products are now updated, ready to use. It goes through and it also registers the product automatically, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and set up the turntable. You're going to want to go to Settings, click on Room Settings, select the room, Advanced Audio, and click Line In. So mine automatically detected it was a turntable, but I'm going to label it Couch Turntable, and your line in source level should be level 2, AV component. Once all of that is set, you can actually set the autoplay volume. And what this will do, it'll automatically set the volume to a certain level when audio is detected. So when you drop the needle and start playing a record, you can set here to whatever you want. I'm setting it to 30%. And that's it. Once this is set up, the light will turn white on the Sonos amp and you are ready to start listening to music. So let's talk about the good and the bad about this amp. So the bad is, and the reason why I was a little hesitant to buy this, was there's no headphone jack on this. Every receiver I've owned since I was a kid has always had an input jack for headphones. But the more I thought about it and I talked to my wife, and she made me realize I haven't listened to headphones in over 3 years with a record. Like, I never do it, so it's not a huge loss for me. There's also an option of buying a headphone amp and putting that between the amp and the turntable if you do want to listen to headphones, so it's not that big of a loss. Here's a quick picture of what you get on the cover. There's no volume knob, so for a lot of you classic receiver owners, this will be a little getting used to. So aside from the headphones and the volume knob, there's one other negative, which there is a remedy for. So this is a Wi-Fi receiver. Now, that doesn't matter if you're listening to a line-in input, if you're listening to your turntable, what have you. It's not really gonna matter, or if you're just streaming through the Sonos app. But if you're doing what I'm doing and you have multiple speakers throughout multiple rooms, it uses your Wi-Fi connection to send high-res audio to those speakers. Much better than Bluetooth, mind you. But it is using your Wi-Fi network. So if you have a very busy Wi-Fi network, you might get a few skips or a few drops here and there. There was a little trick I did though. I did change my Wi-Fi channel. It was set to auto, and if you go into your router settings, you can choose what exact channel you want. I selected mine to 6, and I had no other issues with latency right away. So now that the bad's out of the way, let's focus on the good. This thing is powerful. So I have 2 sets of Paradigm mini monitors, and those are reference grade studio speakers. This can drive them extremely clean, very punchy. There's all kinds of options to tweak the audio. There is high-res compression you can put on this if you want to have a certain sound. I go uncompressed. The EQ on this is amazing. There's all kinds of sub options you can have on this. If your third-party sub doesn't have a crossover frequency adjustment, this has it built into it. It's super rad. One of my favorite features of this, and one of the reasons why I invested in this, was multi-room audio. I love listening to my turntable. The audiophile in me loves to sit on my lounge chair, crank the 2.1 system, intently listen to the musicianship and the quality of the record. But I am a family man, and I'm constantly either playing with the kids, doing dishes, or cleaning, or moving around the house. So I like to put on a record, and I like to have the audio stream to more than one room. With the system, if you buy a separate Connect, or if you get the Play 1 or Play 5, whatever you have, it is extremely easy. It sets up in less than 3 minutes. You can stick that speaker wherever you want. You go into the amp, you just group it together, and you can play whatever you're playing through the amp all over your house. So the price points on these may give people some hesitance in buying it. This is $5.99. The Play 1 speakers are like $149 each. The Play 5 is like $4.99. Sonos has been around for a while. Extremely reputable brand. They have the highest number of streaming services on their app compared to any other streaming component. But one thing I did notice when I was searching for the amp is resale values, they stay steady. This is not going to go down in value. Your Play 1 speakers don't go down in value. Anything with the Sonos brand on it, it barely dips when it comes to resale value. So that's another positive. So my takeaways from this, I am extremely happy with this purchase. Not only is this half the size of my previous receiver, it's half the weight too. It's designed to be reminiscent of physical media like a CD or a record. As you can see, there's this circular pattern up on top, and on the bottom it's actually a heatsink, which helps with overheating and cooling the system. So this thing was carefully designed. The front panel, you do get these 2 touch sensitive volume up, volume down. You get a play, pause button, and you can actually swipe between the 2 to change tracks. So while I'm a huge vinyl enthusiast and I love listening to physical media, I also stream too, I'm not gonna lie, and this took the streaming to the next level. There are so many different streaming services I can connect to this. So I have my Apple Music connected, XM connected, Pandora connected, Tidal. If you guys are audiophiles, check out Tidal. You can download high-res audio, and while you're transferring Tidal to the system, it's not through Bluetooth. You're not going to lose any audio resolution. It is through Wi-Fi. That's one of the coolest features of the system. Your audio is going to maintain its integrity. This was not sent to me for free. I used my own hard-earned money to buy this. I saved up for it. This is a completely honest review. I'm super stoked on the system. I highly recommend it. You guys should check it out. And if you're looking for wireless audio, like if you rent and you can't drill on the walls and you can't wire speakers in every room, this is an amazing solution. So I'm Michael. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit subscribe, give me a like, and check out my other videos. If you didn't like it, you got pretty far into a video you don't like, so I commend you for sticking around. Alright, until next time, thanks guys.